Hello, everybody. Dr. F Scott Feil here, and I wanted to give you a quick update on our main sponsor, Ice Shaker. If you're looking for a water bottle, a coffee cup, a protein shaker bottle, I have great news. Your search has ended. Ice Shaker has shaker bottles, tumblers, sports bottles, and the newest addition, and my personal favorite, the gallon and half-gallon jugs. These bad boys are both massive and sturdy and keep drinks cold for hours on end. This has been my answer to making sure I drink enough water throughout my day. I've still kind of come around to the protein game and I'm new at it still, but when my doctor advised me to increase my protein intake, I turned to powdered shakes. Every other shaker bottle on the market had its issues, but Ice Shaker is the only one I tried that was vacuum sealed, had no issues with clumps or smell, and it really kept my drinks the right temperature. I love this product and I love the company and the guys behind it as they are doing amazing things and simply winning. Not only in the world of shaker bottles and sports bottles and tumblers, but in the game of life. Their partnerships and charitable donations have not gone unnoticed by the Professors of Profit Pops crew. So if you want the best beverage consumption and protein shaker solution on the market, check out the link in our show notes to grab yours today. You can even customize them with laser engraving, just like I've got here for our pteducator.com, right? And, I promise you won't be disappointed with these stainless steel products. They're all colors, all sizes. You've got to check them out. Ice Shaker, let's shake things up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professors of Profit vlogcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and I've got with me a special guest today, Judy Romano, who I've gotten to work with years ago, and now she's taken her business and kind of scaled it and adapted it and pivoted a couple times here to now where she's at. And it's really all centered around an aging in place type model, right? A healthy falls prevention, we'll call it a little bit of consulting involved there. There's just basically trying to keep people who are aging in their home safe and healthy. So Judy, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the business that you've started now.
All right, thank you. So I've been an occupational therapist for 40 years, and I've loved every minute of that. I've specialized in working with adults with physical disabilities, and I've also specialized in driver evaluation and home safety evaluation and caregiver training. And then when COVID came, all of a sudden, all of that was like destroyed overnight, as was, that at-home part of the whole healthcare industry with so many staffing issues and quality of care issues. So I was pretty blown away by that as a professional. I still was very interested in pursuing my career and my passions, and just couldn't let it go. I wanted to continue to do that. So I put on my thinking cap during all those quarantine lockdowns and tried to figure out how to do like online caregiver training and home safety training and all of that kind of thing. And so what I ended up doing was taking a leave of absence from my work in a nursing and rehab center because I was so burnt out. And I went to visit my daughter in Bali, and she is a digital nomad and a coach. So she was able to sort of guide my thinking and my direction in a way that, supports remote work. So long story short, while I was there, I recovered from burnout. I got one of her friends to help me build a website. It's called theinformedcaregiver.com. And on the website, I offer a virtual home safety evaluation and a virtual driver safety evaluation, as well as one-on-one caregiver training. But then I realized I needed to put those products out in the world so that people would know me and be interested. So then I realized I needed to learn about social media. So that's been my journey for the last like almost 1 year. I'm slow because I'm not a techie person. But what I've done in that year is I've created a course. It's a 12-lesson course. It's called Successfully Care for Your Aging Loved One at Home. And so that is going to be what I promote online. I've just started today with my first Facebook ad. And my intention is to be more public, to be on social media, to sell the course, and then in the process of people using my course, also understanding that I can do something much more personalized and specific for a caregiver through a virtual format.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I've been really busy and really challenged, but really enjoying this whole business that I started.
Yeah, I love that because you already had the expertise and authority, right? You've been doing it for 40 years. You just know your stuff, right? So at this point, you have the clout, if you will, to come out and just say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a trusted source. I've been doing this for 40 years. Now you're just taking that expertise and authority and turning it into more of an online business, which I love. And you touched on a couple points there. I think, one of them is to realize, like, if you're going to do that, yeah, it takes a lot of work and it takes, a lot of kind of tech know-how, and it can be difficult for sure. But it's finding the right courses, finding the right people, finding the help that you need to navigate that stuff. And it can be done, and I think the cool thing is you've got a couple of different options for people to find you, for people to purchase your stuff, and then to scale it a little bit too. So it's not, just the course. The course is kind of like a taster, a teaser, right? They get to know you, they learn more about you. Then you kind of have like an upsell to where they can work with you one-on-one. And I think it's just really a great business model for a very great niche, because the baby boomers are getting older, they're staying more active. And I can't tell you how many home health patients that I've seen in my career that just want to stay at home and live the rest of their days at their home, right? It's just so important to maintain that aging at home and be safe. And, it's debatable sometimes whether they are safe or not to be at home and by themselves sometimes, so that's where experts like you come in and kind of do those consulting and really kind of figure out, is this going to be a safe option for this person or not? And I think you touched on another key point too, that caregiving is a full-time job, and if we're not taking care of those caregivers, if we're not giving them options to learn how to care for their loved ones, that can be tough. That can be real tough. I've seen, caregivers get injured, strain their back, hurt themselves on transfers, shoulders, arms. And so, if we're not educating them on the things that we know as healthcare providers, when it comes to transfers and staying safe, both for the patient and for the caregiver, it can really lead to some bad stuff. So it's a great niche that you're working with. And I think it's a great need that's out there that you're filling. So I appreciate you for taking that on and for using your expertise to kind of help people. What kind of advice would you give, or what kind of words of wisdom would you give on things that you've learned so far with regards to the online business and kind of navigating it as you are this, at this point in time?
I mean, well, I tried to do it on my own, but that was ridiculous. So I've relied on other people to steer me and tutor me and help me along the way. So you've got to have commitment. So that I have that. I can really hang in there and work hard and get it done, albeit slowly.
Yeah, but it's consistency, right? It's just one foot in front of the other. It's sticking with it. And if it means enough to you, if it's something that you're passionate about and you really care about, you'll keep it up. You'll keep going with it. You'll keep taking that one step at a time.
And the thing with me, Scott, is that I've had a lot of experience, not only as a therapist, but also as a family member. So my dad died at home of cancer.
Yep.
My sister Ellen had ALS, and she died at home with the care of our family. My sister Nancy had Down syndrome, and she people with Down syndrome eventually get Alzheimer's if they live long enough. So that was another challenge for my family. We had to work the family home so that all of those people could age in place there, which basically meant moving to the first floor. Yep. So people who want to age in place can't just say, I need to age in place. They have to be willing to make some changes to their home environment and to who's going to be there with them. They can't just stubbornly say, I'm aging in place without making changes, because it just won't work. There's things that can be done and have to be done. And the other thing that's super, super important is that caregivers, like you said, they need to take care of themselves. That is super important. And I've developed a little handout on that about how to take care of yourself on a daily basis as a caregiver. It's going to be one of my promotional materials for the course. That is very, very important also. So I have not only the professional caregiving experience, but the personal, family, difficult, at-home caregiving experience as well. So I can see it from the family point of view for sure.
And that makes for a great profession, because you have that empathy built in, because you've been there, you've lived it, right? You've been through the family side of things, you've been through the caregiver side of things, you've been through the professional side of things. So I think that, all of those life experiences combined really do make you the expert and authority at it, right? So I mean, that to me is a no-brainer to just share that with the world, so I'm so glad that you're doing that. What's something surprising that you've kind of found so far in navigating this journey once you started your business? Like, what's something that you didn't really expect or see coming that was kind of a bit of a surprise to you?
Well, I mean, I was very naive, I guess, about how to start a business and how to get it online, and how much effort and time and technology that takes. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I guess I thought I was going to give out business cards and, visit places of business, but that is an old-fashioned and very slow way to do things. So I needed to ramp up the technology part of it. And so that I believe is probably the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah. Well, and truth be told, that people talk about passive income, like, and yeah, to some extent it's passive in that you don't have to be there physically necessarily to trade time for money. But I don't like the term passive income, because there is so much front end work that goes along with online courses, with, technology and learning the platforms and all the things, so it is a difficult journey. So I don't want people to think that you just set up shop tomorrow, like you said, hand out a few business cards, and voila, you're making money. It's a grind. It's not easy, and that's why I preach so much to have passion and to have a North Star, if you will, or your zone of genius, so that you can lean into it. Because if you don't have that, when it gets tough, you're going to cut loose, you're going to bail, and unless you have a real why behind it, unless you have that passion, it's very easy to give up on things. And I love when people find the thing they love doing, because they'll never give up. They just figure out the next way, the next step, right? Even if they fail, they learn from it. So I commend you. I love that. Well, Judy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and kind of talk to us a little bit about your aging in place business. What advice do you have, for people that are looking to start a business, that involves the geriatric population and aging in place? Like, what advice can you give people that are looking to do something similar to you?
Well, I found that the population that I want to work with is not the aging adult, it's their caregivers, their family members. And a lot of, what I've done over the years, as I said a little earlier, has been driver evaluation. So what I really found is that when people are looking for a driver evaluation, it's not just about the driving. It's all about living in the community and getting around and taking care of, the IADLs and, their quality of life. So it's been really fun for me too, to like go on a driver evaluation with somebody and have a lot more to offer that family than just the driving advice.
Yeah.
Because if you're having trouble with driving, you're probably also having trouble with cooking and med management and financial management. And those are like the big four in terms of how people, age well in the community. And I also want to say caregivers need to understand that every single month that they are providing care at home to a loved one, they're potentially saving like $10,000 or $12,000 a month on institutional care costs, which have just skyrocketed, and the care has gone way down.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing to do for someone who's aging is to try to provide that care at home for as long as humanly possible.
So many good points there, Judy, because again, I teach the geriatrics course for our university, and you hit some of the big four. I think aging in place and health, right, but also financial health, right, and the med management and the independence of getting around and doing the daily living things that you used to do, whether it be driving or just getting around the community. So I think that's important. And like you said, if we're not taking care of those caregivers, it's like the oxygen mask, right? You got to put on your oxygen mask first, or you're going to be useless and you won't be able to help anyone else. So they have to take care of
that all the time.
Yeah, it's true. It sounds stupid at first, but then you think about it and you're like, oh yeah, I can't fill from an empty cup. I gotta take care of numero uno sometimes.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I get it. Well, Judy, thank you so much for taking the time to do this and educating our audience about the aging in place business. Where can people find you? Where can they reach out if they have more questions or follow up, or just want to see what services you offer? Because I love the fact that you've got a little bit of local service going on, but also national service through the online stuff too. So where can people reach out and find you?
Well, the website is called theinformedcaregiver.com, and I have a blog there with a lot of different topics about bathroom safety and fracture care and institutional care and driving decisions. And I also offer my home safety, virtual home safety assessment, my driver safety assessment, and my one-on-one caregiver training on that website. And I'm on Instagram as The Informed Caregiver and Facebook. So I'm just starting that social media journey.
I love it.
Today.
That's great. What better time to do the interview than right now then, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put all those links in the show notes so people can find you very easily. Judy Romano, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you and seeing where you're at in your journey. I love it so much.
And thank you for starting me off on all this, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thank you so much.